guys, and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing my March wrap-up. Surprisingly, March was a really good reading month. Granted, what we're going through in the world, so I did get a lot of reading done because I had to stay home from work, but I'm going to get into it. So the first book that I read, I gave 5 stars. I loved it so much. If you've seen my reading vlog, you know I've talked about it a lot, and I did end up reading the sequel and some of the spin-offs in my reading vlog, so I'll link that in a card above so you can see it. But I did end up finishing The Dark Crowns by Kendare Blake. As I said, I did give it 5 stars because it was so good. I was not expecting the way for it to go, and I kind of suspected towards the end, like, there's something more to this, like, thing that's going on. But if you're not aware, this series is about 3 queens, Arsinoe, Mirabella, and Catherine, and they are all raised to be queens in order to become one ultimate queen, and they have to try to kill each other to get the throne. And so they have different powers to be able to do that. So Catherine's a poisoner, so which means she's really good with poisons. She doesn't die when ingesting poisons and taking poisons. And then Mirabella can control the elements, so she, like, I think she specializes in, like, lightning or storms and water, or maybe not water, it's not her best element that she's kind of talked about. And then Arsinoe, she's a naturalist, which means that she's good with animals and plants and stuff like that. They all have these different powers, and they try to kill each other using these powers and their power of, like, I guess, like, skill, I guess. So this is, like, kind of the introduction to the world, but also, like, a lot of stuff goes on in here, and that is, like, crazy good. Like, you know, so many ships, so many loves, but I did give it 5 stars, as I said, because it was amazing, to the point where I decided to want to continue to read the series, and it kind of got me out of a reading slump, so I'm very, very grateful to the series for getting me out of this reading slump. The next book that I read was a manga, and this manga is a continuation of another manga that I read, I think last month, or maybe the month before, I don't really remember, but I stopped reading it for a while, and then I was like, you know what, just finish it. You have, like, less than, like, 20 pages left, just do it, like, whatever. And that is Snow White with the Red Hair by Sorta Adeyuki, and I gave it 4 stars. I just love this anime, and this manga is awesome. We get introduced to Zen's brother in this, and Zen's brother, I have a love-hate relationship with him in the anime. Like, just because I hate him as a person because he's always hard on Zen, but, like, I love him because he's awesome and he looks like Zen, so, you know, but this is, like, following after the first volume, and so Shirayuki comes to Zen's kingdom, the Clarence, and, starts her life there because the prince of the other kingdom allowed her to go, and essentially because he tried to abduct her and make her his concubine. So I gave it 4 stars, as I said. Okay, the next 2 books I read were on my Scribd account on my iPad, so I'm going to be talking about those. So they're both by the same author, and I did read one of this author's poetry books last year, which is Amanda Lovelace, and I did read the first book. I forget what it's called, but I'll probably put the picture here because I am lazy. But I did read the next 2 books in that, like, trilogy or series. So I read The Witch Ellen Byrne in this one, and I also read The Mermaid's Voice that returns in this one. And they both have different themes of, I guess, what Amanda Lovelace has gone through in her life, but also it's to help relate to what was going on in the world at the time. And so some of it included, like, domestic violence and, unfortunately, rape and all this, like, really serious stuff. But in the terms of, like, beautiful poetry and, you know, relating it to witches and mermaids and princesses, as the first one was. And the first one really did make me cry. Like, there was a bunch of them that made me cry because I really did relate to a lot of them, which I think I talked about last year when I read it. And I did give both of these 4 stars. They were okay. I liked the first one a lot more. A lot of people said that they liked the last one, which is The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one, a lot more than the first 2, but I kind of disagree. I like the first one better than the second 2, but they're beautiful. There's beautiful writing, beautiful prose. It's so beautiful, and, you know, it's relatable sometimes, you know, and you know, it can reach out to anybody who's basically gone through these sort of situations, and in terms of beautiful writing and also like making you feel empowered. I give them 4 stars each. The next book that I read is the sequel to Three Dark Crowns, which is One Dark Throne, and this one I gave 4 stars, so it wasn't as good as the first one, but I really did enjoy it regardless. This one I talked about sort of in my reading blog, so again, it's linked somewhere on the channel. But as I said in my reading blog, I had like a love-hate relationship with Catherine, which is the youngest queen. Not because like she was written poorly or anything, just because she was acting a little crazy, acting a little insane. And I liked innocent Catherine better, I guess, but she's acting insane and crazy because of what happened at the end of Three Dark Crowns. So, if you haven't read Three Dark Crowns, I'm not going to spoil for you because you need to really experience the series for yourself because it's so good. So yeah, I did give it 4 stars, but again, the series is really good. I really want to read the 3rd book. I tried reading the 3rd book, but then my Scribd account got locked out, and then now it's unavailable on Scribd, and I'm really pissed, in all honesty. But yeah, I gave it 4 stars. Really good. Loved it. Yeah. Alright, and the last 2 books that I read were novellas, and they were an accompaniment to the Three Dark Crowns series. One was called The Young Queens, which follows Catherine, Mirabella, and Arsinoe when they're kids, and kind of tells the story of how they were born and like how they got sent off to their respective like kingdoms or like ruling families. But it's like how they kind of went there and like how they were brought up and how they were raised as young queens and young children, and how it's different from what we know, like how to raise a child. And it's different, but like I gave it 4 stars just because I don't know, like it's technically the second novella, but like it was really good. Really good. You know, and it confirmed some headcanons of mine, like I talked about in my reading blog, and I just was screaming because I knew that things were right when I was thinking about them, and they were. Literally, like the first sentence or 2, like in the novella, basically like told me, but I knew it was right. So I'm not gonna spoil because obviously you need to experience the series for yourself. Just saying. And the last novella and the last book I finished in the month of March is The Oracle Queen, which is the 2nd novella for the Three Dark Crown series, and it takes place 500 years before Catherine, Arsinoe, and Mirabella were even queens, before their mother, etc. And it follows the Oracle Queen, Elizabeth, who she has the sight gift, which basically means that she can see into the future and kind of see what's going to happen. So it follows basically this story, but not really, because they tell this, it's basically a, like, not a nightmare story that they tell kids, but it's it's like the story is different than what it's been told, if that makes sense. So, in the lore of Three Dark Crowns, this Oracle Queen went crazy, saw this vision that all of her closest advisors and people around her were all conspiring to kill her and overthrow her, so she killed them. But in this story, it actually tells the story of what happened and what actual corruptness actually went on in that court, and what happened with the queen. And it's really sad because she got really like dumped on, like everything was like terrible for her. Like her husband was an ass, he was cheating on her, but like, you know, it wasn't a big deal because she's queen and she's allowed to take lovers too, blah 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 blah, and he's not king, so technically there's no like repercussions for him. So she was feeling so lonely, she made her friend in a painter, and then like he realized she was being poisoned, and this is where everything starts to go different. And so she just kind of watches and waits, and but people are figuring out that she knows this, that she knows that she's being poisoned, and then her council decides to kill everybody who knew the secret. So it's a different way that it's told, and I really like this one a lot more than I did The Young Queens. Not because I hated the first one, it was just because I think I liked the Oracle Queen a lot more because it told a story of something that happened in these queens' lives that wasn't a lot, and it told the truth of what happened with the Oracle Queen, and I think that is really cool that we got to see that because, you know, what stories are they going to tell about Catherine Mirabella and or Ursula? Like, yeah, only one of them can live, but like, what are they going to tell about their reign afterwards? Like, are they going to make up lies? I don't know. But I found it really cool and I really did like it. I did start another book at the end of March, but then I just didn't want to read it. Not necessarily because I didn't want to read it, but because I just got lazy and I started a new Netflix show and I just didn't want to start it, or at least continue reading it, and that's King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. It's like the 7th book in the Grishaverse series, so not gonna spoil anything. I'm only like 100 pages in, so it's like not a big deal. So I'll just finish it in April, like not a big deal. So yeah, that was my wrap up for March. So thanks so much for watching. My name is Olivia, you're on Bookish Burgess, and I hope to see you soon in another video.